Hey guys, Team Winning 2012's Young C is here for a for a new segment that I'm going to start doing. Before each new format, a lot of people do their ban list predictions and all that stuff. One thing that I like to do, that I'm starting to like to do, is me and my friends usually we do a little wager on what we believe is going to be the deck to beat this format. And then we build the deck and we test it out and we see if we're right. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to call it the deck to beat. What I believe this format is going to be the deck to beat is none other than Hero. Now, I've been playing Hero for a while, but it's never been, like tier 1. It's a good deck, but it's not tier 1. I'd say around a tier 1.5. I think that's what it is anyway. But this format, because Escardio just came out, I think heroes are going to be the deck to beat. I think that every deck is going to have problems with Super Poly because now it's live for every single card, which for a lot of people that's going to be tough. They're never going to know if the hero player is going to have the back row Super Poly, and even if you book of Moon, the hero that they're going to Super Poly with, they can still do the Super Poly off, which is ridiculous. All in all, Super Poly is a really busted card, and honestly, probably shouldn't have ever come out. All right, so I'm going to start with the deck video portion of this, and of course, we start with one Stratos. Now, you gotta have the Stratos because it's your main searcher for the deck. That, and it sets up for a lot of plays. You can Stratos search, grab an alias for the Gem Spark plays and the Miracle Fusion plays, just the fact that it's a big beater. Or you could always just go and grab Bubble Man, set 5 back row, special Bubble Man, first turn Blade Armor Ninja to 44. It sets up for a lot of good plays. Next up, we have 3 Elemental Hero Neos Alias. Now, he's just the big beater of the deck, Gemini sparking targets, the main light that you use to get out the Shining. Also a Super Poly target, obviously, because he's a hero. Next up, 2 Elemental Hero Bubble Man. I only like Bubble Man at 2. I feel like running 3, I draw into it too much, and it's dead. It's just a dead card in my hand that can be special summoned. And I don't really like that. I don't like having dead cards in my hand. Anyways, next card. 2 Thunder King Ryo. It makes it so that your opponent can't search, which is really big. I know that especially around my locals, Dark World is beginning to become a really popular deck, and it stops Snow dead in its tracks. It makes it so much harder for Dark Worlds to play, and I think it's really good. I think Thunder King's a really good card. I mainboard 2 Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragon's a really underrated card, I feel. I feel like nobody's been siding it lately, and nobody's been mainboarding it lately. Unless, you play like some really weird Cyber Dragon-based deck, and if it works, good for you. I mean, if you actually have one of those, PM me a deck list for it, because I'd be really interested in it. But it's a really good card, You special summon it, and more times than not, it's actually helped me because they've had to warning the Cyber Dragon, which, they pay 2K. I get rid of their warning. I don't have to worry about it anymore, unless they have another warning, in which case, I don't care. I can go Alias and then Miracle Fusion with the Cyber Dragon Alias there now in my grave because of your warnings. So, it's a really good card. I mean, people should really start playing it more. 1 Honest. Really what you're looking for there is the fact that you mainboard, what, 3, 5, 7 lights? Yeah, you mainboard 7 lights, plus the Honest, that makes 8, but that doesn't really count. And then you have then you have the Shinings in the extra deck, the Utopia. It's just a really good card. There's more than enough targets for it. Next up, personal tech of mine. 1 Evocator Chevalier. I'll get that nice up and close for you there because many of you won't know what that is. He's a level 4 warrior 1900 beat stick. He came from the Gemini structure deck. He's a fire type, which I actually find interesting because most people, when they think of going into Nova Master, they always think, oh, you know, Super Poly with the Logias, but I think Dino Rabbit's not going to be really big this format, so I think we're going to have to find another way to go into Nova Master. And plus, he's a Rota target. You can Rota into him. You can't Rota into Crusader. Same amount of attack, only difference, he's not a light. Oh well, you can't go Shining. Oh wait, but you have so many other lights, who cares? That Nova Master is really good. He's a really underrated. I think he's one of the more underrated fusions, which I don't understand why, because he gives you so many pluses. Like, more often than not, when I think I'm in control, and if I don't have that many cards in my hand, I'm not going to go into the Shining and try and go for game, because then if they DP me, I don't really have anything. And if they have a monster, so I'm going to kill a monster. Next turn they could just easily Dark Hole me, I'll have nothing in my hand. I can't stop anything. With Nova Master, if I kill their monster, I get to draw a card. He's a 2600 attacker, so it's pretty good. Next up, my second favorite mainboard tech. 2 Fossil Dino. 2. Many of you may think I'm crazy right now. I am. But it comes in handy. And it's not for the Gaia. I have never used them for Gaia. Not even once. But even though you do special summon a lot, there is a point when you realize, hey, I've special summoned enough. I can keep control of this game with my field if I have a Fossil Dino. And I've been finding out, like, especially this current format, which is soon to be the past format, that I always side into Fossil Dino. So you might as well mainboard it. There's a lot of things you could take out, like skill drains. Those haven't really been helping me. If anything, they've been hindering me, and it's kind of starting to piss me off. Next up, my one tech and my favorite one tech, Penguin Soldier. Not Snowman Eater, Penguin Soldier. It's so much better than Snowman Eater because it doesn't destroy, and it's anytime it's flipped face up. So, and it has attack, so it can still poke in there for damage. So, if they, go ahead and overlay, you just bounce their Exceed back. It's a win-win. I mean, putting cards back into your opponent's hand is really good this format. Much better than flipping anything face down. I like it a lot. Alright, so that's it for the monsters. Now onto the spells and traps. Starting off with, of course, the main card of the deck, 3 Miracle Fusion. Now, the main reason is only to get out, all of your fusions and everything, and that's really about it. That's all the card does. Next up, the best card of the deck, 2 Super Poly. If you're going to play Hero, and you are not mainboarding Super Poly, you should get smacked. It's always live now. It is never not live. People can't respond to it. You can't Warning a Super Poly, guys. Can't Judgment a Super Poly, guys. It goes through. You are going to lose your monster. Or both of your monsters if you're doing a mirror match. I mean, if you're playing Hero against Hero, they have a Shining and an Alias on the field, you go Super Poly, ditch a card, get rid of both of their monsters, and you get your own Shining. Alright. On to the searches. 1 Rhoda, and 2 Emergency Call. You really just need to make sure that you constantly have monsters in your hand. Because you only play 11. In my build, anyway. Next up, the 3 Gemini Spark. It's a really good card in the deck. It makes it a lot easier. It makes drawing. It makes bottomless not a factor. Torrential doesn't hurt as much. It still hurts, not as much. DP doesn't hurt anymore. It makes the deck a lot easier to play. And next up, 3 Pot of Duality. A lot of people have said that 3 is too many. And I don't believe that. In Hero, you're supposed to have consistent control. So there should never be a situation in which, if you Pot of Duality, like let's say you Pot of Duality and triple Miracle Fusion, and there should never be a situation where you have to play the Miracle Fusion that turn in order to not lose. Otherwise, you're just a really bad hero player. I've never run into that situation. Never. I've always had, other things that I could do that will save me for the turn, make me able to Miracle Fusion next turn, and win the game. And next we got our staples, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, gonna get banned, hopefully, Dark Hole, and Book of Moon. And onto the traps. 2 DP, staples. 2 bottomless, also staples. 2 torrential tributes, which I actually haven't been seeing a lot of lately. I've been seeing a lot of people going back to the old 1 torrential, 1 mirror force, which, I really like that, because I feel like always having to worry about 2 torrentials, it doesn't fit right with me. It doesn't. Then it catches a lot of people off guard now, only playing 1 and 1 mirror force. 1 Hero Blast. Whenever I play with 2, I just always draw into it way too inconsistently. And when I don't need it, it's always a dead draw. 1 Starlight Road, because it's still really a back row heavy deck. And finally, 1 Judgment. I know what you're gonna say. Where's the warnings? I don't play Warning. And as I grab my extra deck and side deck, the reason is I just feel as if there's nothing in any other deck that's a really big problem for this deck that we can't just bottomless. I mean, let's think. If they, let's say they summon Alagia. You can still bottomless Alagia. It'll detach its materials, but then you can just Dark Hole it next turn. Or you can just beat over it. With Honest. Dolka, bottomless. BLS, bottomless. Everything can get bottomless. Things that can't get bottomless that are actually seeing plays from it. I can't think of any. The only one I can think of that's actually a problem is Dragonfly. And there's so many other ways that you can stop Dragonfly, considering we have Veilers, Shadow Mirrors. It's just not worth it. It's not, guys. Paying the extra 2K, it's not worth it. In my opinion. I mean, I'm obviously not everybody, but... Alright, extra deck time. 1 Chimera Tech. People are still playing Wind Up, people are still playing Inzektor, people still go into Zenmane's first turn and don't set back row. I still special Cyber Dragon first turn, go into Chimera Tech, Normal and Alias, they take 39. Hey, guess what, guys? You only have 1 live warning. Really. So, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. 1 Gaia, because of the XP space, and for obvious reasons, it's a hero fusion. 1 Nova Master, already discussed this really when I told you about Evocator. 1 Great Tornado, hero fusion again. 2 Escardio, yes, I don't have them yet, guys, they just came out on Tuesday. I'm getting them this weekend at my locals. 2 Absolute Zero. Yeah, let's do a little close-up on that Wolverine there. I'm going to eat your face. And the last fusion's 3 Shinings. Still the best hero fusion ever. Still the best. I don't care what everybody says about Esquardio, it's still the best. Exceeds 1 Mace Stroke, 1 Blade Armor Ninja, and 1 Utopia. And the only synchro that sees play. Stardust Dragon. Because let's be honest, guys, synchros are kind of dead. Onto the side deck. I sideboard double Snowman Eater. I don't mainboard them. I just don't see a reason to. I feel like in the sideboard, they're there for extra protection. If I need them, I'll use them. If I don't, I don't. 2 Gemini Imps. Dark World is going to be a really big problem this coming format, I feel. So I think that's the best thing to side against them. Well, that and Shadow Mirrors, but I already side those. 2 Evalers. Still a really good card to side. The only reason why I don't mainboard them is because I still think that Hero's going to be the best deck. So there aren't a lot of things that you can Valor in it. It's not worth it. 2 Parallel World Fusion. Now you may be asking me about this. But macro, it's a really good deck. It could cause some problems for us. That, and I also sided in Macrocosmos. You know, against, like, Insectors and all that other bullcrap. So, whatever. 1 Burial. I've had a lot of times when I have a Shining, my opponent has a Shining. His Shining attacks mine because he has 3 Banish and I only have 2. I activate Burial, return 2 of his and 1 of mine to the grave. No, sorry. Return all of his to the grave, and instantly, my Shining kills his, and he gets the last banished card back to his hand. I always make sure that it's an alias. I never want to give him the extra Stratos Search, or a Bubble Man, because then he can special and go with Blade Armor. 2 Lance, against those decks that can occasionally beat over Hero. 2 Shadow Mirror, it's just a really good card against Insector and all other dark decks. Finally, 2 Macrocosmos. It's still a really busted card, but it's only busted against certain decks. So guys, that's been my deck video for the day. That's been, sorry, not my deck video for the day. That's been the deck to beat Hero. Watch out for it. Super Poly. Make sure you're ready, because you never will be. Peace out, guys.